This is higher homework, it's Unit 2 extension, it's question 10. We're going to run through 4 of the questions that are here. The first 2 questions are straight lines, the other 2 questions are circles, and what we're looking for is we're going to try and find the coordinates of the points where the lines or circles cross the x-axis and also where they cross the y-axis. Okay, so let's do it for the straight lines first of all. And for point 1, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be trying to find out where they cross the x-axis. I know that the equation of the x-axis is y is equal to 0, so what you've seen me do before is let y equal 0. But really what we're doing is we're substituting y is equal to 0 into the line. Okay, so let's go and do that just now. So from here I'm going to put a 0 in where y is. I've got 2x plus 3. Bring the 3 over to this side, gives me minus 3, 2x, so x is going to be equal to minus 3 over 2. So that's me got the coordinates of the point where it crosses over the x-axis. So the x-coordinate is minus 3 over 2, and the y-coordinate, as I asked it to be at the start, would be 0. Let's go for part 2 on this one. And what we'll do is, I know the equation of the y-axis. The equation of the y-axis is x equals 0. So the same thing again, we'll let x equals 0, or what we'll be doing is substituting x equals 0 into the line. Let's go for it. So we've got y is equal to 2x plus 3 is the equation. So wherever I see x, I'm going to put in a 0. So I've got y is equal to 3. So there's the coordinate that where it crosses over the y-axis. So we're starting with 0 for the x-coordinate and 3 for the y-coordinate. Okay, let's try it on this next line here. Same type of thing we're going to do. I'm going to let y equal 0 when I'm trying to find out where it crosses the x-axis. So y equals 0, so I've got 3x plus 2 times 0 equals minus 12. So what I then just have is 3x is equal to minus 12. So x is going to be equal to minus 12 all divided by 3. So the x-coordinate is going to be minus 4. So the coordinate here is minus 4 for x and then the 0 for y. For part 2, where it crosses over the y-axis, I'm going to let x equal 0, or substitute x equals 0 into the straight line there, and what we've got is we've got 3x plus 2y equals minus 12. I'm going to put the 0 in where the x is. 3 times 0 plus 2y equals minus 12. So all I'm left with is 2y equals minus 12, y equals minus 12 divided by 2. So the y coordinate is going to be minus 6. Right, so I'll take the x coordinate first, y coordinate next. And there's the point where they cross over. Right, for the line questions, let's see how we're going to mark this. I'm just going to give 1 mark for getting the answer there. 1 mark for this one here. So that's 2 marks for part A. Again, just 2 marks for part B. Just getting them in coordinate form. They must be stated in coordinate form because that's what I've asked for in the question. Let's move on to the circle questions. Okay, so the first one that we've got here is we've got the circle in this type of form here, and what we're going to try and find out is where this circle crosses the x-axis first of all. So what we'll do again, just like I did with the straight line, I'm going to let y equal 0, or basically what I'm doing is I'm substituting the equation y equals 0 into this circle. So wherever I see y, I'm going to put a 0 in. So let's go for that. So I've got x minus 4, that's squared, plus, and the y is going to be the 0, minus 5 squared equals 25. So I'll just square out this bracket here. That should give me x squared minus 8x plus 16. Squaring that gives me plus 25, because it's just minus 5 squared. Bring the other 25 over to the left hand side, that gives me minus 25, and that now equals 0. These two values can cancel out. 25 take away 25 is 0, so all I'm left with is this trinomial here. And what we'll do from that is I will try and solve that, put it into two brackets. So I've got an x here, two values that multiply together to get 16, but have a difference of 8, so that could be 4 and 4. Let's see if that's going to work for us. And they are either both minuses or both pluses. In this case, because there's a minus there, they're both minuses. So that's x minus 4 squared equals 0. So x minus 4 equals 0, or what we have is x equals 4. So I've only got 1 point here. Okay, so what that would tell me is that there's only 1 point of contact, and that point is 4 for x, 0 for y. So that would tell me that the line is a tangent to the circle. And remember, the line is the y equals 0 line. Let's go for part 2. Right, what we'll do is we'll let y equals 0 when we're trying to find the x-axis intercepts, and for the y-axis we'll let x equals 0. And that's just the same as substituting x equals 0 equation into the circle. Let's go ahead and do that then. So x equals 0 going in here, so I've got 0 minus 4 squared. I've got plus y minus 5 squared, and that equals 25. That'll give me 16 here. What I have is y squared minus 10x, and that's going to be plus 25. Bring that other 25 over, and again what they're going to do is they're going to just cancel each other out. Plus 25, take away 25, that leaves them with 0 there. Let me just try to reorder this here. That's a y that should be there. Let me reorder it. So I've got y squared minus 10y, and that's plus 16, that equals 0. Right, from there what I can do is I can put that into two brackets as well. I can factorise this out. So y and y for these ones here. Two numbers that multiply together to get 16, but I can make a difference of 10 with. 8 and 2 looks pretty good for me. 8 and 2, and both of them are either plus or both of them are negative, and they're both negative because of that one there. So what I have here is y minus 2 equals 0, so y equals 2. On this side here, we've got y minus 8 equals 0, so y equals 8. So the coordinates have been asked for, so I need to write the coordinates down. What I have here is 0 for the x and 2, and for here what I've got is 0 and 8. Okay, and that would be that question complete there. Let's look at the next part for D, and what we'll do is we'll go forward and we'll just do the same type of work as we've done so far. So again for part 1, what we'll do is we'll let y equals 0, and that's just the same as substituting the equation of a line, which is y equals 0, into the circle. And what we've got is just the different circle equation that we've used before as well. Right, so y is going to be equal to 0 into these two places here. So I've got x squared plus 0 squared minus 10x plus 24 times 0 equals 0. So all I've done is put the y equals 0 in wherever I've seen y. So that leaves me with x squared minus 10x equals 0. And from there, this to factorise this out, all I'm going to look for is a common factor, which is just x. Take x out as a common factor. That leaves me with x bracket x minus 10. So from there I can see that x is equal to 0. Or what I've got is x minus 10 equals 0. So that would be x is equal to 10. Writing down the coordinates again. So x is 0, y is 0. So that's passing through the origin. X is 10, y is 0. So there's the other point that I have for crossing over the x-axis. Let's see where it crosses over the y-axis. And here I'm going to let x equals 0. And just the same as substituting x equals 0 into the circle. So that's just the same thing. Right then, so wherever I see x, that's going to appear to be 0. So I've got 0 squared plus y squared minus 10 times 0 plus 24y equals 0. And what I'm left with there is y squared plus 24y equaling 0, taking y as the common factor and just solving that from there. So I've got y equals 0 and I've got y plus 24 equals 0, so y equals minus 24. So all I'll do here is then I'll just write down my coordinates. The coordinates will be 0 as my x coordinate, and what I've got is 0 as my y coordinate for that one. And I've got 0 as an x coordinate here, and I've got minus 24 as the y coordinate there. So let's see how we're going to mark this. I think what we'll do is I'll give 1 mark for substituting the 0 into the circle equations. For knowing to do that will be the first mark, and what we'll do is I'll give a mark for getting the coordinate. Again, same thing, substituting the 0 in and getting the coordinates that are there. So for part C we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 marks that are there. For this one here, what I've got is again substituting the 0 in, getting the coordinates, substituting in, and the coordinates here. So what I have is for each of these questions, 2, 3, 4, these are out of 4 for D, this one's out of 4, and if I look back up at the straight line questions that we've just done, these ones are just out of 2 each. Okay. So let me just show you what we've been doing for that circle piece of work there. So the red circle is the first one that we've been looking at. So that circle there crosses or touches the axis at the points there, which was 4, 0, which we had. We had 0, 2, and we had 0, 8 as the points of contact with the axes. The blue circle was the second part of the question, which was part D, and we got the 10, 0, we got 0, 0, and we also got the 0 minus 24. So that's really what we were looking at when we were trying to work out where the circle cuts through the axis. So hopefully this has helped you with question 10 and finding out how we work out where a circle or a line crosses over the x or y axis.